The last couple of months, I've been working on a definitive list of top 25 great Australian rock guitar riffs. It's still not ready, but here's another sneak peek with a lesson. Number 12, John Butler Trio, Betterman. Now this is quite a challenge to play accurately and in standard tuning on a 6 string. John actually plays it on a 12 or 11 string in open C tuning, but as followers of my channel will know, there's nothing I love more than the challenge of figuring out how we can play something without needing to grab a different guitar mid-gig or completely retune. So check it out. So let's break that down. It's originally played on 12 string. John Butler quite often calls it an 11 string because he has the high G string missing. I don't know whether that's an intentional thing or whether that's just because that's the bloody string that always breaks because it's the thinnest and tuned the highest. Most 12 strings I've owned are 11 strings for that reason. Anyway, irrelevant, off track. It's also in open C tuning. So the riff that he's playing is quite simple in that tuning. It's still clever, he's a great guitarist, but it's a lot simpler in an open C tuning. The tonality of the song is like G, B flat, F, G. I'd call it a G minor. I mean, it's like a G5, but all the notes over it sung and played involve the minor third rather than the major third, so I'd say G minor. To do this on a 6 string in standard tuning, right at the start you'll notice there's this cool little, like, hits the bass note and then there's this doo-doo. They're harmonics, like the D and the C. Now we haven't got that C harmonic in standard tuning, so the way I played it just now is play my bass note and then tap the D string at the 12th fret to get that ringing, and then tap a hammer from nowhere with my 3rd finger on the C note at the 5th fret of the G string. By hammering from nowhere, you don't have any pick attack from finger or pick or whatever, and it's similar to the attack of a harmonic. So playing it like that, you get that impression of it's pretty much the same sound as the John Butler version. So that's what I'm doing at the start there. Then the riff, so it's just like out of the G pentatonic, D, F, or 5 on the 5th string, 3, 5 on the 4th string, pull off back to the 3rd fret. I go to the open to help with the position change. B flat. Then he does a little couple of muted strings, the backbeat right on the 2 there, 2. So then you've got the same shape lick but moved down a string. So G or 5 fret D string, 3rd fret, 5 fret, pull off to open to 3rd, then open, same note in between, which would be an open string on the tuning that the guitar's in. Then F. Now for the F chord, I'm leaving an open G in it because that really does emulate the shape that John uses on that open tuning. Then a C note, pull off from the 3rd on the G string to open those 2 notes out of the F chord again. So your C and your F, 3rd fret, 3rd fret, 2 F notes. There's parts of this where I've purposefully doubled up octaves to emulate as closely as possible the sound of the 12 string. So that's why this thing is quite tricky to play on a 6 string. You can rock up to a gig and go. Whatever licks you want, and people are going to know it. That's what I do when I cover this at a gig. I just play it like that. But to get it really accurate, that's what we're working on here. So yeah. sliding up that to emulate the 12 string, I hit the open G string, another backbeat on beat 2, and that cool little thing that really does emulate the open tuning. So I'm playing 3rd fret G note, 3rd fret C note, open D, hammering on to the F note, 3rd fret F note. And how much does that sound like, you know, playing on an open string, open tune 12 string? And then, yeah, sliding 3rd fret to 5th fret back to 3rd fret. Okay, that's the first little filler lick at the end of the first pattern of chords. So then the pattern starts again on the G. Now this time he plays like a, so it's like a triplet. You're holding the 3rd fret on the 2 middle strings and hammering on to the 5th fret and pulling that off. And then it goes back to that, but because it's a 12 string, I find adding the same 2 notes up an octave really helps it. Then there's a really quiet, almost inaudible pop on the D and G open strings, going back to the F chord. You notice I use my thumb over the top. It's almost the same as the first time. The phrasing's just slightly different, but all those same notes. It's basically like an F with an open G in it. Again, both notes in the octave to emulate the 12, open G, and this time he does that cool little. So that lick, here's my admission. There's one wrong note in this whole passage that I couldn't quite pull off on the standard tune 6. And it's when that super quick little open B note there. It should be a B flat, so, you know, or I think a C on the original. So then 7, 5, slide back to the 3, open, C, F, so 3rd, 3rd. Slide that F up to a G, and then C again, and then a nice G5 to end it. Alright guys, complete tabs over at my Soundslice channel. Please like, please share, please comment, and ring that bell, because you do not want to miss out the top 25 Australian riffs ever.